Hello everyone, welcome back to Chinmoy's Biology channel. So today we are back with the third revision part of reproduction in plants. So this is the last part. Until now we have discussed with many important parts, that is multiple choice question, fill in the gaps, true false, correct the answer, give one word answer for question answers and all, define the following. So everything we have discussed till now. So today we are here with the last almost the last part, where the reproduction in plants we are going to discuss about differentiate between and about few diagrams and few questions like short answer type and long answer type. So that will be our last part of today. So don't skip in between. We will be discussing many important topics today, and let us start with the differences between in today's episode. Now, the next differentiate between is self-pollination and cross-pollination. So, what is self-pollination? Now, self-pollination occurs within a flower or between two flowers of the same plant. Self means same. So, it is occurring between a flower or between two flowers of the same plant. Now, this cross-pollination, it occurs between two flowers of two different plants of the same species. It is occurring between two flowers, two different flowers of this we can say that they are occurring between two different plants of the same species, not within the same plant, within two different plants of the same species. Okay, is it clear? This is cross pollination. Now, in the previous episode, in the previous video also, I told what is cross pollination. Now, next comes no external agent of pollination is required. Now here external agents of pollination is required, like wind, water, insects, birds, animals are required, because it is being pollination is happening from one plant to another. So to carry the pollen from one plant to another, agents like wind, insects, birds, animals are required, but in this self-pollination no agents are required. Now, pollen grains are produced in small numbers, thus no wastage of pollen grain occurs in self-pollination. So, as it is not being carried out by wind, insects or bird, no wastage is happening, as it is happening in the same plant, self. But in cross-pollination, pollen grains are usually produced in large numbers, thus wastage of pollen grains is happening. So, it is wasting so many number of pollen grains that is being carried from one to another, so it's being wasted, so they are produced in large amount. Okay, now the last one is flowers are usually not attractive in self pollination. Actually it is not required to make those flowers attractive, but in case of cross pollinations, flowers should be attractive so that insects will come and sit on the flowers, so that only the pollen will be carried from one plant to another. So in cross pollination, the flowers are always attractive with a sweet smell, sweet aroma, so that insects, birds, other animals will come, will sit on the plant, will come near the plant and see the flower. Then only it will get stuck to their body, fur. They'll move from one place to another, and it will carry it from one place to another. So this is how the cross pollination depends. So these are the four main differences between the self pollination and cross pollination. Let us move on to the third one. Now, next comes the difference between the stamen and the pistil, right? So, stamen is the male part of the flower, we all know, and pistil is the female part of the flower, right? Stamen consists of anther and filament. Pistil consists of style, stigma, and ovary. Female part, stamen releases the pollen grains, whereas the stigma and the pistil receives the pollen grains. Okay, the stamen is releasing the pollen grain and stigma is receiving the pollen grain. So these are the main basic differences between the stamen and the pistil. Next one. Now, cutting and grafting, it's very easy. So in this method, a part of the stem is with an axillary bud is cut and planted in the moist soil. In the cutting method, is a part of the stem with an axillary bud is cut and planted in a moist soil. Whereas in this method, a stem cutting from one plant is attached and tied to the rooted stem of another plant, right? So the stem cutting or the scion from one plant is attached and tied to the rooted stem or the stalk of another plant. We have done this process. So the stem is cut, it is tightly attached and tied to the stalk of another plant. This is grafting. In cutting, new identical plant is present. Identical plant is identical to the parent plant. New plant is identical to the parent plant, but here the plant is superior than both the parent plants. In grafting, it is very much superior than both the parent plants. Is it clear? Now, cutting is used in the propagation of rose, cacti and bougainvillea, where grafting is used for rose, mango and guava. So these are the examples where cutting is done, where grafting is done. So now we will move on to the next one. Now here, what is the difference between the sexual propagation and vegetative propagation? So the reproduction, we can say, in flowering plants, which involves the fusion of the male and the female gametes and seed formation, is the sexual propagation, or we can say the same thing. It is a sexual reproduction in plants, and vegetative reproduction or propagation is reproduction in some flowering plants in which the new plants arise from the vegetative parts such as root, stem and leaf. So there no fusion of the male and the female gametes is happening, and no seed formation is happening in this vegetative propagation, right? But in sexual propagation, fusion of male and the female gametes are occurring and seed is formed. And they are formed from the vegetative parts like root, stem and leaf. Now the offspring shows variation in sexual propagation, but the offspring is identical to the parent in the vegetative propagation. Now seed is formed and gives rise to new plant in sexual propagation, whereas the part plants like tuber, rhizome, corm, stem, root, leaves, etc. are used to grow new plants. So is it clear? Now we will move on to the next part. So this is the binary fission and the multiple fission. Now what is happening in binary fission? It is happening generally in unicellular organism. You all know that, and it divides into two daughter cells of roughly equal size. So in binary fission, as per the definition, it is divided into two daughter cells of equal size. In multiple fission, a unicellular organism repeatedly divides inside the cyst to produce many daughter cells. Later the cyst breaks open, releasing new organism, right? Now two daughter cells are produced, many daughter cells are formed. Here in multiple fission, many daughter cells are formed, but in binary fission, only two daughter cells are produced. Whereas in binary fission, it is occurring under normal conditions, whereas multiple fission is occurring under unfavorable conditions. So when there are unfavorable conditions, multiple fission is happening, but in favorable condition, binary fission is happening. Now let us move on to the next question answers part. So now I'll be giving you few question patterns, like answer the following in short and answer the following in detail. So till now I have given you all the answers, but this is your homework. Only to give reasons answer I'll give you. That is a bit difficult, but other than that you will get all the answers in whatever textbooks you are following. Just go through them, write the questions and write the answers on your own. If you have already learnt it, it's fine. Just go through the question and see whether you know the answer or not. So let's discuss the questions only. So answer the following in short. First is, how do plants such as bryophyllum propagate? The next one is, what is tissue culture? Mention the changes that occur in plant after fertilization. What is rhizome? Then we can say that mention the changes that occur in plant after fertilization. What is rhizome? Next one is, write to advantages of vegetative propagation. So these all are direct questions and all are there in your textbook itself. Just go through it, take your notebook and write the answers. Now these to give reasons. Gardeners prefer to grow certain plants vegetatively. Why? And artificial pollination is useful to plant breeders. So this too we will be discussing now. So the answer to why the gardener prefers to grow certain crops by vegetative method, the reasons are: reproduction by vegetative parts takes place in shorter time, new plants thus spread very fast in small area, and it is a surer method of propagation. This vegetative propagation is a surer method of propagation. So these are the main points. All the good characters of mother plant are retained by the daughter plants, as it is a method of propagation that is from mother to daughter. So the good characters of a mother plant will be retained in the daughter plant. So the next question was, so this was another question of give reasons, that artificial pollination is useful to plant breeders. How and why? So artificial pollination is practiced by plant breeders for developing new varieties. The breeders select two varieties of crop plant and with desired characteristics. For example, one variety may be high yielding, while the other may be disease resistant. So these two high yielding and disease resistant quality of plants, they are crossbreeding between them, and artificial pollination is done, and many high varieties of rice, wheat, maize have been produced by this process. So this is a very important process, and this answer should be written in this way. So try to learn this, memorize this, and write the answers in this way. Now we will move on to the long answer type questions. So in short answer type question, you can another type you can also get, that is name the following. So name the following of 4 wholes of bisexual flower, 3 main pollinating agents. These are very easy, but you can get these in short answer type questions as well for 2 or 3 marks. Now 4 kinds of artificial vegetative propagation, 2 kinds of unisexual flowers, 5 kinds of asexual reproduction. So these all you can get in this short answer type question. Write the answers quickly. Now this is the last part of this session, and this is the last part of your revision as well, that is answer the following in detail. Where the answer the following in detail, the first question is explain the process of hybridization, describe the different types of pollination, write the features of a flower pollinated by wind, what is sexual reproduction and what are its advantages, what are the advantages of vegetative propagation as well. And in diagrams, see there are many diagrams in this lesson, like artificial propagation methods, grafting, cutting. They are very small diagrams. There are diagrams in wind pollination, this and all. You can practice those as well. Now, but these two are the two main diagrams. That is the process of fertilization in plants. You should learn with proper labeling. And the next one is a structure of a complete flower, that also with a labeling you should complete. So these are basic few questions I have given here. Other than this, there are many questions which you can get for answer the following in details. Just go through your textbook. This is the pattern of question I'm giving you. Go through it. If you're having any queries, any doubts in this 3 parts which I have revised in your reproduction in plants, please do ask in my comment box. I will get back to you with the answers as soon as possible. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, because your next revision question paper is reproduction in humans. So for knowing the question paper pattern, you need to subscribe. Stay tuned to my channel and don't skip my lessons in between. Please do go through it properly, and any queries, any doubts, I keep on telling, please do ask in my comment box. Thank you. Thanks a lot for watching.